Oh! Dallas still stinks. Carson Wentz is out. Nick Foles is in. Are the Eagles doomed? That's the big question today. Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedke. The bitter Dingbats are out of hiding. We're still depressed, though.
We're very depressed. It's been a hard week. It's been an emotional week. I haven't been able to even go back and look at that game. A game in which the Eagles clinched the division. So it's been a very hard week. And it's a very good question. Are they doomed? We're going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to find out.
Yeah. So that's what the topic will be in this show. I've taken a lot of heat this week because I've been a realist. You know, sorry guys, I'm sorry that I don't think the Eagles are gonna not miss a beat with when you go from Wentz to Nick Foles. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look, you can't. One thing the Eagle fans can't do is do like what the Cowboys did. When Zeke Elliott went out, Cowboys fans were like, "Oh, it don't matter. We're not going to miss a beat. We have Alfred Morris." Okay, you can't make up for Carson Wentz. He's an elite MVP franchise quarterback, and he showed his worth in that Rams game. But can they still come together and get through and win ugly or come together as a team and up their game? Of course they can.
Yeah.
They're not out, but it is a lot harder. The hill is a lot steeper than it was with Wentz.
There's no more margin of error. There's no more. You can't have a bad game and still win. You have to be
exactly
perfect from here on out if you want to win a Super Bowl. That's what it comes down to. But here's the thing for me. All right, you got the Giants, Raiders, Cowboys. I expect the Eagles win all three of those games. I really do. I expect Nick Foles to play well in those games. But I already know what's going to happen. Because he's going to play well, you're going to have all these Kool-Aid drinkers again. So, we'll kind of see.
Yeah, well, he'll play great against the Giants, and then it'll be like,
and
dude, we don't even need Wentz.
I told you, Nick Foles is going to be fine.
Yeah, and then you'll get. Should we trade Wentz in the off season for Saquon Barkley? It'll be all that kind of stuff. Look, Foles can do the job. I expect him to beat the Giants and the Raiders, have home field. I would rest them. And then let's say you get a bye week and then you get a divisional game at home. Those are all winnable. Even in the NFC Championship situation, at home is winnable. But when you get to the big games, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of take a look at this and, in retrospect and the rest of the league. So we've seen some injuries already. Deshaun Watson goes down. Texans took a nosedive. Aaron Rodgers went down. Brett Hundley couldn't, carry his jockstrap, obviously. Now, this situation is a little bit different because Nick Foles is actually capable of being a starter. We're not talking about a Brett Hundley or Tom Savage. Ew. It's Nick Foles. Nick Foles is actually a capable starter. All right, so in the whole scheme of things, we're in a better situation than those teams. And I also look at the situation here. Just because you have a backup doesn't mean you can't win games. I mean, I'll give you the example of the Eagles. When McNabb would always get hurt, you'd see Jeff Garcia come in. He won games. A.J. Philly won games. Coy Detmer won games. So I see the same situation here. I think you can win some regular season games. But playoff time.
Yeah, I think we both agree that the final games that they have remaining, they should be able to win, clinch the home field. The teams that scare me now are more the teams with the quarterback because you don't really have the guy to match up on the other side. Drew Brees would be scary. Even Russell Wilson, even though he played bad last week, would be scary. And God forbid, somehow Aaron Rodgers sneaks into the playoffs would scare the hell out of me. But you can win with Foles. You got to rely on the other guys. I mean, the one thing that I did like in the Rams game, that when Wentz did go down, the defense did come together.
They did.
Long got a turnover. They couldn't stop the Rams before that, right? They couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
But they stepped up then, and that was a good sign. To me, that was like a sign of life. So that was good. I expect them to get home field. And then, depending upon the matchup, I actually expect them to get home field and to win a playoff game. I expect that. Now, who they play in the NFC Championship game, I don't know. And then, it's really hard to think past that at this point,
Yeah. I mean, with Wentz at the helm, you would think that the Eagles would be favored in any game in the NFC. But now with Foles, I don't know. I mean, who would you even feel comfortable playing? I'd love to play the Rams. That would be nice. I don't know if Goff would be able to handle Philly. Please give me Minnesota an NFC Championship game. Please.
That's the team that you got to.
Oh, I still want to play Minnesota.
That would be good because the quarterback on the other side. I mean, they have a good defense. Look, that Rams game to me was Wentz's clinching MVP game. All he had to do was play the rest of the season, and it was his award. That was such a clutch, amazing performance in my mind. Some of the throws he made, I mean, he did miss some throws, but the things that he did when that team couldn't keep the Rams off the field was amazing. And if you have him, he could carry you all the way. I'm sure of it. But with Foles, you're going to have to come together. I think there's one guy on this offense that I think they got to lean heavy. I think Jay Ajayi. I think he needs more carries. I think that they haven't given him a lot, so maybe he's pretty fresh. And I would start using him more. And I would also like to see them get Ertz and what's his face? What's the other kid? Burton. I'd like to see them both on the field at the same time. I think that could create a lot of mismatches. Because I like Burton.
Yeah. I totally agree about J.J. You got to unleash the beast now. I'm talking 20 to 25 carries. I know you have your three-headed monster and you normally feed the hot hand, but it's been very evident over recent weeks that Jay Ajayi is by far your best back. He is. He just is. So feed him the ball. And the thing that I'm hoping doesn't happen, though, is I obviously do believe that the Eagles are going to start running the ball more. Now, they do run the ball a lot as it is. They're second in the NFL in rushing attempts, and they're seventh in run-pass ratio. So it's not like they really have to change a lot. I would start running the ball more, though. But the thing about running the ball a lot is, well, if you start being a little bit more predictable and you're going to start seeing more 8-man fronts. And the other thing, too, is they average 4.6 yards per carry. How much of that was due to Wentz?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that remains to be seen. They do run a lot, but I would like to see bigger load, like you said, for Jai. Every game he's played, he's broke something off.
Yes.
I would feel, and look, and I like the idea of them putting 8-man box and then you have Foles with the play action. I think Foles could be very effective that way. And I think he would be fine. I think it would be pretty brutal, actually. I think they could score some points. So, I mean, I think that's the key to this whole thing. Now, I think they're going to come out throwing against the Giants. I think they're not going to run the ball. I just got this feeling that Peterson is going to want to prove that he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? And what a better team to make a statement against the stinky Giants. So, Giants, I think they're not going to run the ball. We'll find out.
Yeah. The other thing, like you were kind of saying too, is the defense really does need to step up as well, because I've kind of given this example, and I'll ask you if you kind of believe the same thing. So the average NFL game has about 5 scoring drives in it, and we know that Carson Wentz was super efficient on third down, led the NFL in third down, and also led the NFL in red zone efficiency. So there was a point in the season where the Eagles scored 18 touchdowns in 20 red zone drives. So 5 scoring drives, when you think about it, you're going to get at least 4 touchdowns with Wentz, maybe even 5. So that's about 31 to 35 points with Wentz. But with Foles, realistically, how many touchdowns are we going to get? Or are we going to see 4? Probably not. Are we even going to see 3? I'm thinking all right, maybe you get 2 with 3 field goals. That's 23 points. But if you score 23 points, are you going to be able to stop an opposing team from scoring 23 points. That's why I don't want to play a goddamn great quarterback in the playoffs. Because I think a Drew Brees, they would score 23 to 27 points. You got Cam Newton, I think they would score. All these great quarterbacks, I think they would score. So that's the difference to me, for me, from a Wentz to a Foles. You're going to see about an 8-point difference, 8 to 10 maybe. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably, I think that sounds about right, if somehow they could come even close to doing what Wentz did in the red zone, that would be amazing. But I think that's probably about right. But, that's where you talk about. That's why the defense does have to step. They have to be better than they were. They have to be better. They don't have Wentz to fall back. He's not going to carry them through things. So, I agree. The good quarterbacks scare the crap out of me right now. Yes. Because I think in the playoffs, that makes such a big difference, Think of, Drew Brees can move the ball on anybody. And he'll be able to move the ball on them. So, it's going to be tough. No, there's no question. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. Who? All right. So we're kind of talking about who needs to step up. We talked about Jay Ajayi. Who else do you think really needs to step up on this team?
Well, I think the offensive line needs to step up.
Yeah.
Because you can't. You have Foles there. He is not going to get away like Wentz can. He's not going to have those plays where he buys time. He keeps things going. So the offensive line to me is like they've got to be better. You can't have this where he's getting hit, or he ain't going to last either. And then we're in big trouble. So he has to definitely step up. And I think that defensive line, we need them to raise their game. They need to get pressure. They need to hit the court. They need to keep beating the quarterbacks. If you want to beat Drew Brees or Cam Newton, you got to get pressure on them. It's the only way.
Yeah. And, dude, I'm 100% with you on the offensive line because as great as they've been in run blocking, pass protection has kind of caused some problems this year.
Yeah.
The Eagles are in the middle of the pack in terms of sacks allowed. Carson Wentz does run for his life a lot. So that does concern me a little bit. It does. Because Nick Foles, he backpedals. He doesn't scramble out of the pocket. He backpedals.
Yeah, he drifts to the right.
Yeah, that too.
Always drifts to the right. Yeah.
So you look at Halapoulivaati Vaitai, he's now allowed sacks in back-to-back games. He's got to short things up. Not going to get easier for him. So, offensive line, I'm in a complete agreement with you there. Fletcher Cox, got to step up your game. And I'm not. This isn't anything negative. This is you got to start. All right, this is your defense. This is your defense now. This is your team now, basically. So we need to see the deepest of the deep penetration. Deep. It has to be deep constantly, consistently. 3-hour marathons.
A deep wrecking machine. Yes. He's got to be wrecking everything all up deep inside there.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll tell you, Malcolm Jenkins has got to play better. I haven't thought Malcolm Jenkins has played too well the last few weeks. I think he needs to be better. You can't have guys like Malcolm Jenkins missing tackles, taking wrong angles. I thought both of their safeties actually weren't that good against the Rams. So they got to pick it up.
Oh, they were terrible against the Rams.
Yeah. I mean, some of the angles that they took, it was just like, what the hell? A lot of missed tackles. Those kind of things have to stop. When you have Carson Wentz, you feel like, it's okay, we'll get it back. But now there's no, like you said, there's no room for error. You have to get the job done.
Yeah. Yep. So the defense as a whole, and you brought it up, I was so encouraged, though, by the way they stepped up. They knew that their leader was down, and they went out and they won the game for the Eagles. They went out and won it.
They did, yeah. I agree. And I'd like to see Alshon start to earn his paycheck. Those throw-up balls where you can go up and get it. We need him. We need guys to step up and make plays. Think all those plays where Wentz buys time, those touchdown passes. How many times has the guy bought time in amazing plays and we go, oh, my God, how did he do that? And then he scores a touchdown. Those are all gone. So other people are going to have to make those plays. You win as a team, right? So, yes, they can still do damage. They still can go far. How far? I don't know. I'm really trying to keep this in terms of even when Wentz was in, I was just like, get home field. My thoughts are home field. That it hasn't changed. Get home field. I'd rather go have Breeze come to Philly than go to New Orleans, right? You'd rather have that. If Foles is at least at home, I think we're in the games. I think we can win.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I'm gonna ask you to have a little flashback right now.
Okay.
Go back to 1991. I want you to compare because you were alive. Well, I was alive too, but I was a little boy. So
Yeah, I'm an old man.
I don't remember, but I have watched the game. But Randall Cunningham, 1991, that was supposed to be the year that the Eagles won it all. You had Cunningham in his, like, fifth season or something. So
something like that, yeah.
So he was right in the middle of his prime. You had a great Eagles defense. And then he tore ACL in week 1.
Yeah, and he was coming off. I think he was coming off like a year where he had like 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 985 yards running. I mean, it was a spectacular year. He got gypped off on the MVP. That's a whole nother story. And you had a defense that was dominant. Like literally every category across the board, they were number 1.
Yeah.
So everybody knew that this is the Eagles' year. He tore his ACL. That he was like, I don't know, like 60, 70% of their offense was just gone. And then they had McMahon come in. He got hurt, and we went through like 5 quarterbacks. They still managed to go 10-6 because the defense was ridiculous. But if they could score, literally, if they could score 10 to 13 points a game that year, they would have won every game because people couldn't score on the defense. And to me, that hurt. That hurt because you knew it was a year. This is worse. This is more. I mean, this hurts more because your quarterback had an MVP year and left you with 11-2 record. Home field, and to me, that's those two years are very similar in that. Even more so when McNabb got hurt, you had still players around. This year was really very similar.
I'll tell you what, if the Eagles had that defense right now, I think they could win a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
That is the Super Bowl elite defense that I'm talking about. That could have won a Super Bowl.
If they would have won
Jerome Brown and all those cats, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons. If all those guys were on the team right now, this team would hoist the Lombardi Trophy. But this Eagles defense that they have right now, great defense. I don't know if it's Super Bowl elite. But we're about
that defense would have gone into the record books as probably top 3 defense of all time if they would have won. They don't get the recognition. We've done shows on it. They don't get the recognition because they didn't win. They had that defense right now. We would be breeze. It would be no problem because all you would need is 10 to 13 points a game, and you would win.
Yeah, and you'd still score about 23, like I was saying, 23 to 27 points with Foles. So you'd still be killing the competition. So that's like when I was making the point earlier in the week about the defense, because people were telling me like defense wins championships, Eagles have a great defense, but the defense that wins championships are the elite ones. The 02 Bucks, 2000 Ravens, 1985 Bears, 1990 Giants. I mean, those are the teams that win Super Bowls. Are the Eagles? I mean, is this defense good enough? I don't know if it's not as good as those teams.
Yeah. I mean, even I don't know if you said the Broncos a few years ago, right? They had a really, really dominant defense. So, look, the defense is going to have to make an impact and pick it up. There's no question about it because you're not going to score 30 points a game every game. I just don't think you will. But they're going to get their chance, right? And my feeling is just get home field, and then let's go out in the NFC Championship game. Let's go out in the playoffs, and let's just go out swinging. Let's take chances. Let's be aggressive, and let's let the chips fall where they may. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, what I'm kind of envisioning is a game plan where you run the ball a lot, and if they do start creeping up, you hit them with the deep ball. because Nick Foles does throw a pretty deep ball. All right,
Yeah,
nice deep ball. And another thing the one thing that he actually might do better than Wentz is the back shoulder. And I'm curious to see if they start throwing that to Alshon a little bit more. Just go up and throw it up because Wentz for some reason just never seemed to get that down fully this year.
yeah. No, I hear you. You know, Wentz has a gun though too, so like he thinks he can thread things that he can make certain passes that other people just can't. So, yeah, look, Alshon, if he could somehow step up, especially that back shoulder throw that you're talking about, it would be a really good time for him to come up big. Look, I like Foles. I do. I really like Nick Foles. I like that they brought him back. It's not, to me, this is not as bad as having Casey Keenum. And Keenum has been good. So I think Foles can be successful. No doubt about it. You know, but I am curious to see what the Eagles are going to do. I'm curious to see how they're going to use Foles, how the offense is going to change. If you listen to Doug Peterson's press conference, it sounds like they ain't going to change anything, which we know that's probably not true. They're going to do something, but it's going to be curious. I think the Giants are the perfect team to play, though.
Yeah.
Because it can give you confidence. You can beat the crap out of them, get that bye week, and you know, move forward.
No, it's funny that you mentioned that because in my Eagles Giants preview, I said the same thing. I said Giants are literally the perfect opponent for us right now.
They really are.
They're 31st against the pass, or they're either 31st against the pass or 31st against the run. But whatever it is, they both stink. They're both sides of the ball. They both stink. They're 31st against the pass and 30th against the run. Whatever it is, they're flip flopped. But either way, they're top 3 worst in defense. They're just pitiful.
Yeah.
Pitiful team. Awful team. And we're going to kick the shit out of them.
Yeah, I expect the Giants to come in the first half of the first quarter to try. And then as soon as they score, they're going to quit and pack it in. Because, dude, let me tell you, the Giants' defense quit on that team 3 or 4 times this year where you've seen it. They didn't even care. You know what I mean? So I expect it to be that quick, you know. And it doesn't even help the Giants to win at this point. Really, they doesn't even help them. So I think it's a perfect opponent to play. I do.
I agree. It's like a preseason game. It's another preseason game for the Eagles.
Yeah. I will say this, though. The Eagles fans, Carson Wentz will be back, and he will be fine, and he will have a great future. This is not an RG3 situation where he'll never be the same. I've heard people say that. I do not believe that at all, one bit. Just based upon his injury, just being a clean tear, I think he'll be fine.
I'm with you. And medicine as a whole has gotten a lot better, you know, because I've had arguments with the same people. Like, it's, all right, listen. He's not RG3. You can at least make a read. The reason why RG3 failed is because the zone read failed. The zone read got out of touch real quick. That's why Colin Kaepernick failed.
Yeah.
That's why he's not in the league anymore. I know you think he's not in the league because of the race thing. That's part of it. But it's mostly due to the fact that he can't make a simple read. He can't get through his progressions.
Yeah.
You can't. If you can't get through your progressions, you're not an NFL quarterback. Griffin's the same way. And Wentz, I mean, obviously MVP. So there you go. I don't need to get into that. But we've seen advancements in medicine. We've seen Adrian Peterson come back from an ACL tear. We've seen Todd Gurley do it. So it's not like it's a doomed scenario. Now, what I am not liking about the situation is the fact that he's not going to have an off-season workout plan. He's going to be rehabbing. So that sucks. Yeah. So he can't maintain that chemistry and keep building that chemistry with Alshon Jeffrey. You're going to have to wait until basically the season starts because you're not going to see him in the preseason either.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times these guys come back at first and everything's a little slow. They don't really trust their knee totally. It takes them a little time to get going.
That is very true.
So don't be surprised if he comes back, he struggles early, or he's just not the same. And then all of a sudden, like November, December, he starts to get into his rhythm. He starts to play really good. Yeah. Then the Eagles become really scary, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I expect from it. But I know the one thing I know about this kid is he's going to work his butt off to make sure. I trust all those things about him. So, if it's going to happen, it sucks it happens, but I think that he can handle it. I don't think it's too big for Wentz. I really don't. Just even hearing what he said since the injury gives me a lot of confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In him.
Yeah. All right. What else? What else do we got?
Let me think. Look, I had this fantasy the other day. I had this dream, like this kind of imagination where now this is like best case scenario that could ever happen. We win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles and we trade him for a ransom and get Saquon Barkley. That was it. That was it. That's my dream right now. Oh, man. But look, if Foles somehow does win, we're going to be able to trade him because you got to trade him at that point.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Get a big windfall. I like Foles though. I thought Foles got robbed with Chip Kelly. I thought Foles could develop into a decent starting quarterback who, if you build a team around a good defense, could win you games. I always felt like that with Foles. Remember when he played New Orleans in the fourth quarter, when he went off the field, we were winning. He got us up in the game. And then they kicked off. We had the penalty, and they won the field goal. That's stupid, all that crap. But Foles, I think Foles can handle the pressure. I think Foles mentally can handle the pressure. I think Foles can get the job done. I think with Foles, the whole thing is he's not one of those guys like Wentz where he's going to make everybody better and all that. But I think you can win with Foles. I don't think it wouldn't shock me. Like, if they start winning with him, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah. I gave them 25% chance of reaching the Super Bowl. What do you think about those odds?
25% chance.
To get there, not to win.
To get there,
yeah.
I'm going to give it a little more because I think the home field advantage is the big factor. I think I'll say like 40%.
Woo!
I'll say 40. I'll say 40 to get there. I'll say
drinking eggnog today?
Dude.
Eggnog time, yo.
Eggnog time, yo.
All right, now it's gonna go.
I'm glad you remind me. But I think like 40 to get there because of the home field. With Wentz, though, I had it at like 85, 90%, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I was pretty convinced we were going to win a Super Bowl.
If we don't have the home field advantage, I would say 20%. I really think that's the big factor.
Yeah. If we don't have home field advantage, we're screwed. I feel like 5%. But the home field advantage does give you a chance. And depending on the opponent, we'll see. Because there are definitely teams that I would like to play as opposed to some others. I don't want to play the Saints. I want to play the Rams. I would like to play Cam Newton. Like, Cam Newton just seems like he would choke in Philly. I don't know.
I'll take my chance. I feel confident against Carolina. Maybe because we beat them earlier in the year in Carolina. But I feel comfortable playing them. Goff in Philly, that would be okay. It's those quarterbacks that have experience that scare me. The Russell Wilson coming to Philly, he can handle it.
Yeah.
Drew Brees can handle it. No. Aaron Rodgers, he could handle it. Even, Matt Ryan, that could be a scary team too. Although I think he doesn't usually play good in Philly from history. So I would be okay with that. I think the Saints, the Seahawks, and then if somehow Green Bay, I know it's hard, but if somehow they got in, that would bother me. Can you imagine? Because if you play Green Bay, they're probably the last seed. So let's say they sneak in. You're on a bye. They win their first playoff game. You're going to play Green Bay after the bye week. I don't like that. I don't like that with Aaron Rodgers there. I would not like that at all.
I think Green Bay's screwed because you already have 7 teams that might go 11-5 or more, and they're 10-6, and they also don't have the tiebreaker against Atlanta. And Atlanta, I think, is going to finish 10-6 or 11-5. So I think Green Bay is screwed. They play Minnesota next week, so maybe they could help us out a little bit. But then again, I want Minnesota as the 2 seed. I want them there.
Yeah, I do too. I think that Minnesota's got the quarterback problem, just like the Eagles do now. So yeah, I think the teams with the good quarterbacks are really what you have to worry about. Guys that have been there, man. Those are the guys that worry me. Yeah, Keenum coming into Philly, I think I like that matchup. I'll take it any day of the week.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, give me Casey Keenum out there. I don't care how good Minnesota's defense is. You put Casey Keenum out there, I think we're going to win.
Yeah.
You play Drew Brees with that running game, I mean, it's going to be a battle. Well, I think we'll be in the game, but it'll be a battle.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a dingbat of the week before we kind of depart?
Oh, man, I have no dingbat of the week except for myself. I've just been so depressed by this thing. I'm going to let everybody off the hook personally this week. I don't really have anybody. I'll say me. I'm the dingbat of the week. I'll go with that.
Let's see. I know that Donovan McNabb was doing some things at the NFL Network. I'm trying to find the story of what he was doing because apparently he's a kinky man.
McNabb?
Yeah.
I did not hear this.
There were several NFL Network analysts that were accused of sexual harassment. And there were some crazy stories. Like Warren Sapp was buying her dildos. Among the texts received from McNabb, the complaint reads, were messages asking the plaintiff if she was a squirter and telling the plaintiff she looked like the kind of girl that squirted when getting fucked.
McNabb said that?
Donovan McNabb said that.
So he's a married man. Ain't he a married man?
I believe so. So
was a married man.
I am giving number 5 the dingbat of the week.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, obviously, you got to prove somebody's guilty. But if he said that, man, sorry, dude. I can't stick up for him there. Not if it's true.
So yeah, that's my dingbat of the week. I got nothing else.
Look, let's just beat the Giants. Let's get that bye week, and that's the start. That's the start. We gotta get game through with Foles. See how he plays. See how he looks. Build some confidence, and we go from there. I hope in a week that we're all feeling a lot better. Having seen Foles, build some confidence, the team, and we have a bye week clinch, and then we can focus on that Raiders game for home field. I mean, it'll be better in a week from now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right. So we'll end it because I got my next show, 1 o'clock, doing a preview, Giants-Eagles preview with James. So that'll be coming up.
I will look forward to. I'll be watching.
Yep. That'll be shortly. And with that being said, that's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fedke. We're out. Peace.
Peace. McNabb.